Hello and welcome back to Get Up and Game. My name is Josh, and let's talk about Nebula. If you have ever fought Nebula in this game, you know she is wildly unpredictable. In my recent villain difficulty rankings, she only came 4th or 5th from the top, but sometimes when you fight her, she can be harder than Ronan. And the main reason for that is that she just gets so many free actions off of all the little things that are happening in her scenario. Let's take a quick look at her deck. First of all, she has the Space Pirates who have Quick Strike, so there's a free effect. When a minion comes into play, they're going to immediately attack you. She has her techniques that give her free little actions before she activates, and many of the cards in her deck have boost effects, so that's just more free stuff Nebula gets to do. But the biggest, most egregious problem with Nebula is this little word right here, Surge. Now, not that many cards in her deck have the word Surge, but thanks to her special ability, the first technique attachment each player reveals each round gains Surge. And there are 8 of those in here, not to mention 2 side schemes that could summon one and reveal it, and 2 treacheries that could summon one and reveal it. So between those and when you play on Expert with the Exhaustion and Under Attack cards, and the Ship Command has the Rogue Vessel, and of course her barrel rolls that have Surge, almost 50% of this deck has the potential of surging every villain phase. So you are going to be getting surged almost every single encounter phase. There's a really, really good chance her boost card is going to have a boost effect of some kind. And if you get a minion, it's probably going to attack you immediately. So she is coming at you from every possible angle, not to mention she also has this Nebula's Ship Environment card that's getting a counter every turn that is increasing the amount of threat that is going on the main scheme. And you have to spend resources every turn to bring this back down, or you're just going to get threaded out almost immediately. So she's getting a ton of free stuff, and she is restricting how much stuff you get to do. So when you fight Nebula, it's just a huge pain. Once in a while, she gives you a fun game, and she doesn't go too crazy, and all of her free actions don't add up to as much as they do some other times, but usually you just get blown out of the water. So what we're going to be doing in this video is I want to show you exactly what it feels like when you fight Nebula. And we'll be doing that by increasing the video speed every single time she does something annoying, because that's what it feels like to fight her. It just feels like it's going faster and faster, and you cannot keep up. So every single time we put a counter on Nebula's ship, the video speed increases by 10%. Every time she gets a boost effect, the video increases by 20%. Quick Strike, 30%. Surge, 50%. So there's a really good chance by the time we get to the final rounds, you're not going to be able to understand a word I'm saying, but I think that is a totally fair representation of the way Nebula feels when you fight her. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's because this is one of my 100 subscriber specials. Every time Get Up and Game gets another 100 subscribers, I like to say thank you by doing a special video that's usually a little bit different, a little bit out there. And we just crossed over 1,800 subscribers, so I wanted to say a huge, huge thank you to the recent 100 subscribers that joined, as well as everybody who has been supporting this channel. The growth just continues to be so amazing, and I'm so, so, so grateful. So I hope you enjoy these subscriber specials as a big thank you. And also, normally I would save this kind of stuff for the end of the video, but there's a really good chance you won't be able to understand what I'm saying. So if you do end up enjoying this video, I ask if you wouldn't mind liking it and subscribe to the channel to see future content like crazy playthroughs like this, as well as normal playthroughs. I recently announced the Multiverse progression Saga. We're going to be getting started on that soon. I wanted to get started on it a little bit sooner, but unfortunately everybody in my home came down a little sick, so I haven't had a chance to record in a little while. So sorry that hasn't gotten started yet. And there are now ways to support Get Up and Game financially. Check the description for those. All right, enough of that stuff. We're going to jump right into the game. Now, since we're going to be fighting Nebula, who's going to be doing all kinds of annoying things trying to make us go faster, I'm bringing in Black Widow to try to play the control game to hopefully be able to prevent some of those boost effects, prevent some of those surges, prevent some of that quick strike. I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup. A Black Widow trying to play the control game, all the while Nebula is just trying to speed away as fast as she can in her ship. So in order to complete setup, we need to discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, and if she gets any technique attachments, they're going to get attached to her. Now, I already have Black Widow's Obligation in here. Technically, I shouldn't have it in here yet, So if we happen to discard that as one of the top 2 cards, I'll just make sure I shuffle it back in. So we get Master Plan, not a technique, and Advanced, not a technique. Well, that is a pretty nice start. And then I'm playing Black Widow in Aggression. I'm trying to do a mix of quick damage to bring Nebula down quickly, but I'm still trying to play the control game that Black Widow enjoys doing and is so good at. So we're drawing her opening hand, Dance of Death. The other Dance of Death, that's not great. Attack Acrobatics. It is nice to see a technique early, or a preparation. I might accidentally call them techniques because I play a lot of Nebula Hero, who is very similar to Black Widow, and her cards are called techniques, but her preparations. Power of Aggression, Psylocke. Well, that's nice to see early, and a 1x1. I'm going to go ahead and discard the 2 Dance of Deaths and the 1x1. But I'm going to hold on to the Power of Aggression, Psylocke, and Attack Acrobatics. I'd really like to play a preparation because you get to draw a card in Alter Ego when playing Black Widow when you play a preparation. And if we can get Psylocke on the table, maybe we can get some Confuses rolling, which would be really nice to see another double here. Espionage is going to let us draw some cards when we get Surge, Ironheart, and 1x1. So we didn't get another double. We're going to start out by getting a Espionage on the table. That is going to let us draw a card because we played a preparation. Getting Grappling Hook. Also, I should probably finish setting up the main scheme. We'll flip that over, put 2 threat on it. And then it goes up by 1 for every counter on Nebula's ship, and she's going to get one of these every turn. And then we can remove them by exhausting the Milano support here and spending resources for each counter we want to remove. But you can only remove up to 2, so if they get away from you, it's really hard to get it back down to 0. We are going to go ahead and use the Milano. I'm going to start using the tokens in a slightly different way. Someone suggested in a recent video that they like to put a token on the art and then slide it down over the text when they exhaust the card, and I really like that idea. So I've been playing it that way in the practice games, and it works really nicely. So I'm going to exhaust the Milano for 1 resource, use this for 2 more for a red card, as well as this for a 4th resource to bring in Psylocke. She gets 2 psionic counters, and we can use her to confuse Nebula. Also going to go ahead and just discard Ironheart to bring Attack Acrobatics into play for another preparation. Now we only get to draw the free card once, but it's just be nice to have that on the table. We are going to use Psylocke to attack Nebula. She deals 1 damage, but if we remove one of these counters, she deals an additional damage and confuses her. So we're going to hit Nebula for 2. She starts at 17 on her stage 2. We're playing expert. So she goes down to 15. And then I think we're just going to stay in Alter Ego. I don't see any good reason to go to hero form other than we could remove that 2 threat. It's so tricky with Black Widow because she wants to be an Alter Ego to play her preparations in order to draw cards, but you can only trigger them when you're in hero form. So it's kind of fun bouncing back and forth, but it also feels bad when you have opportunities to use her preparations and can't because you're not in the right form. You know what? I think I will go to hero form. I want to keep that threat low, so I'm going to flip up, and we are going to exhaust to remove these 2 threat. And then we'll probably just take this first hit because I don't want to use Psylocke up just yet. So I guess that's how I'll play it. So we're going to draw our new hand, Widow's Bite, Clobber, Endurance. We're not getting any of her setup. Oh, well, there we go. One of the gauntlets, and chase them down. So if we get a minion, we might be able to remove a little bit more threat. So we'll ready everything. Now going to the villain phase, Nebula's ship gets a counter, which means we're adding 1 threat to the main scheme, goes up to 6. It's really easy to lose, and if you do lose the scheme, your life gets a lot harder. Nebula is attacking for 2, but she also has the Power Stone, so she's actually attacking for 3. And if we're ever able to hit Nebula for 3 or more with an attack, then we can take the Power Stone away from her. Then we'll have +1 thwart and +1 attack. That's really nice. But as it stands now, she's attacking for 3. I'm just going to take this one to the face. So it's 3 + 1 is 4. Now, if I want to, I could use the Attack Acrobatics to cancel that 1 boost icon and then deal damage back to her. It's not much, but I guess I will. We definitely want to be chipping away at her as often as we can. So that'll deal 1 damage to her for the Attack Acrobatics. It cancels the boost icon and deals damage back equal to the number of boost icons. And then Black Widow's special ability is anytime you trigger a preparation, you get to deal a damage as well. So it still did 2 damage. That's not too bad. And now we'll see So already the video would have increased by 10% because of the ship has gotten a counter. That's going to happen incrementally over the course of the game. But let's see if anything else crazy happens. Not too crazy on the fact that she is going to scheme. That's not great. Now, if we had had a grappling hook, we could have canceled this, but we don't. So unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about this. It's not a great start. So she is scheming for 3, 4, 5. Sure wish I had that attack acrobatics now, because that is going to be enough to push us to the next scheme. That is... Oh, wait, no. She's confused. Sorry. I'm so used to confused being just for going to alter ego, I forget that it cancels advances as well. I'll shuffle that card back in. My mistake. Well, that actually worked out nicely then. So she didn't get to scheme. She just takes off the confuse. So really nothing happened there, other than this should still have its one threat. And that's that. Okay, that actually wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be a disaster, and instead, we're fine. So then going back to our hand, we definitely want to get the gauntlet on the table. It's going to help us pay for future preparations. So let's use a chase them down to get that down there. And then we will use Psylocke and her other counter to deal 2 more damage. 1 for her attack and 1 for her ability. Confuse her again. Because I think we're going to go to alter ego. We're probably not going to play that clobber. Well, if we were going to play it, I guess we should have played it first. Not usually thinking about damage this early in the game, so I didn't even really think about it. Something else we can consider doing is using the Milano to remove a counter from Nebula's ship. You always want to keep that low. But first off, we are going to use the gauntlet to pay for a Widow's Bite, which will let us draw cards. We're an alter ego. Get another attack acrobatics. Yeah, let's go ahead and use the Milano and the clobber to take that counter off. And then do we want 3 health or do we want another attack acrobatics? Well, I think we'll take the 3 health since we already played a preparation this phase. So that is going to get us from 9 up to 12. Except I forgot to take the 3 damage for the attacks. We're actually back to 9. Okay, we're catching up. Missing a few things here and there, but I think we've caught everything back up. Psylocke takes a 2nd damage. And then since we didn't use Natasha, we'll actually go ahead and heal back up to 12. And so now none of that mattered. All right, cool. So we're going to ready everything. Got a couple preparations on the table. Psylocke will be a nice future blocker now. Getting a martial prowess, covert ops, clobber, another clobber, 1x1. Okay, we got a lot of damage and a strength. Nice to be able to get that martial prowess on the table. I'm going to the villain phase. Nebula's ship going a little faster. And now I considered slowing the video back down when we remove the counters, but I don't think we're actually slowing her down. I think we're spending resources to just speed up to catch up with her. So I think it's appropriate that the video just keeps moving at that accelerated speed every time she gets a counter. Now she wants to put a threat on the main. It's up to 2, and now she's confused, so she can't scheme. And so we just have our encounter card, which is going to be Honor Among Thieves. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a criminal minion is discarded. Reveal it. Give it a tough status and the villain 1 face down boost card. Okay, so kind of a lot going on there. We're going to go find one of these space pirates. Oh, there's one. Oh, it's the big one. So we get the pirate commander. Now it is revealed, which in this case doesn't really matter. It doesn't have any one revealed effects. It does have quick strike, but we're an alter ego, so we don't have to worry about that. And it is going to get a tough status, which is just a real pain. And the villain gets a face down boost card. So by being an alter ego, we avoided some annoying effects there, so that's good. Though a 6 health minion with tough is not exactly easy for us to deal with. And if it does manage to attack and damage us, we have to remove a card at random in our hand from the game. So that's why we really like effects like Widow's Bite here that would deal damage and stun the enemies before they can attack, since they all have quick strike, because they all like to remove cards from the game from your deck, which makes it really hard to advance your strategy when maybe key cards end up getting removed. Well, unfortunately, we don't have any preparations to play while we're in alter ego. So I think we're just going to change to hero form. It seems like I'm speaking a little quietly. My boy's taking a nap and he's not feeling so well, so he's not sleeping well. So I'm trying not to wake him up. We're going to use strength to get a martial prowess on the table just for another resource to pay for attack events anyway. Now we should really try to get rid of this pirate commander. We also want to make sure we're keeping the threat low. So I want to save Psylocke for a block, but I'm kind of tempted to use her to ping that tough. Yeah, Yeah, we have 12 health. I think we're going to go that route. We're going to use Psylocke to just attack and deal 1 damage to the pirate commander, which will take Psylocke out. And then we'll use the Martial Prowess and the Milano for 2 resources to play a Clobber, dealing 3 damage to the pirate commander. And we'll just use these other 2 resources to play another Clobber, knocking it out. That's a lot of effort invested in killing that pirate commander, but I think we really needed to do that. Widow is going to remove the 2 threat, and we're just going to let there be an extra counter on there for now. Sometimes I don't like to remove that ship counters until there's 2 of them anyway. So that's fine. So we're ready everything up. So far we're hanging in there. Nebula hasn't really gotten any boost effects or any surge or anything, so she's acting like a normal villain. You know, like most normal villains, this would probably be all the gimmick they need is just this ship, and she's got all the quick strike and boost effects and surge. She just gets so much extra free stuff. Spider-Girl, grappling hook, and the synth suit. Okay. Synth suit would be really nice to get down, but so would Professor X. So not quite sure what we'll do just yet. All right, the ship is going up to 2 counters, which means the threat is going up by 2. So we definitely need to remove 2 of those next turn as well. Yeah, next turn's not looking so great. Now, Nebula is going to be attacking with 2 boost cards. That's really, really bad. We don't have anything to cancel those, though we do need to remember if a minion comes in, we can Widow's Bite, and if it surges, we can Espionage. It's kind of easy for me to forget that I have those down there. So I like to remind myself, I'm at 12. I'm kind of tempted to defend. Now we're going to take this hit. This might be bad. So she's attacking for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my goodness. No boost effects, but we are down to 5 just like that. That was brutal. And we still have our encounter card, which is going to be special delivery. You may exhaust Milano. If you do not, the villain attacks you with +1 attack. Oh my goodness. Well, we kind of need to exhaust the Milano because we can't take another big hit like that. But then if we do that, we can't remove the counters from her ship. But still, we can't be taking a huge attack. So I guess we'll exhaust the Milano. Oh, that was rough. And weirdly, for All Might Talk, she hasn't done really any of the things we said she does. Isn't that always how it goes? Well, I guess we don't have to worry about spending resources on taking the counters off now that the Milano is exhausted. But I definitely am going to need to thwart to remove that threat. Well, I think what we're going to do is use 3 resources to bring in Professor X. It's going to confuse Nebula for us. And he, actually want to use the green discs for the allies, is going to thwart to remove the threat and take a damage. And then we'll stay in hero form this turn since we have a blocker. And then we'll just go ahead and use the gauntlet to play another Widow's Bite. It'd be nice to be an alter ego to draw the card, but I don't want to waste the opportunity to block with Professor X. And Widow is just going to attack Nebula for 2, bringing her down to 9. We really just need to be chipping away at her when we can. And I guess that's all we can do. Getting real nervous about that ship being so high, though. I'm going to draw... Oh, there's the safe house. That'll be nice for when we go to alter ego next turn. Okay, next turn looks like it might have some decent potential. We got to get there first. Nebula ship is going to 3, which means we're adding 3 threat to the main scheme. So far, the battle has felt relatively evenly paced. I'm wondering if that's going to change. But like I said, once in a while, she'll give you a battle that actually feels fair. But more often than not, she just goes crazy with all her free stuff and just kills you so easily. Professor X is going to block the attack that's coming at us for 3. We don't have any preparations that can help with this. So it's 3. Oh, here's a boost effect. This gets revealed, and it's going to make each enemy get +1 attack. It's a side scheme with 2 threat. So that was a boost effect. We're going a little faster. Professor X is knocked out. And let's see our encounter card. Oh, and we're going much faster now. Barrel Roll is going to Insight for 1 and Surge. And we're placing an evasion counter on our ship. Now it's up to 4. Yeah, we're in real trouble. We're not going to be able to keep up with this threat. And that's going to Surge. Which, before we do anything else, we do get to trigger the Espionage, which is going to let us draw 2 cards because there was a Surge. So we got a Covert Ops and Winter Soldier. That's nice. And we do 1 damage because we triggered our preparation down to 8. Now our Surge card is going to Surge again. Can't keep understanding why I talk anymore. This is going to attach to Nebula. It's going to reduce the amount of damage she takes from each attack by 1, and it's going to make this card at random when she activates against us next. And because this was the first technique revealed this turn, it's going to Surge into Lethal Intent. When revealed, this card from the top is going to go get another technique. Now, if it had been the first technique this phase, it would Surge, but it's not going to. So we have to go get another technique. So we're getting Unveiling Persistence. This one gives her Stalwart, so she's no longer confused. That's really unfortunate. And when this one triggers, she's going to get a Tough. So we're going to be discarding card at random and getting a Tough. Oh boy. And there's 2 side schemes. This one's a hazard, so we really want to get rid of that. We also definitely need to spend 2 resources to bring the ship down as well as we can. Can't really go to Alter Ego anymore. Since she is now Stalwart, she's no longer confused. Oh yeah. We're moving it towards an unfavorable conclusion. Well, we definitely need to reduce the ship down, so we're going to spend Milano and 2 resources, which are going to be Nick and Covert Ops, because we just can't afford them. So that brings that down to 2. We're going to use a Gauntlet to pay for an Espionage, so we're at 3 preparations. Then we're going to use the Safe House, because I don't see it anytime soon, to play Lie in Wait, another preparation. We have 4 preparations. When our Soldier's cost is reduced by 1 for each preparation you control, so he is free. It's pretty awesome. And we still have a Gauntlet in our hand, but I don't think it's that crucial. We're going to end up discarding that. Now, we definitely want to remove at least the Lethal Intent, because we don't want the extra counter card. And then we're going to have Bucky work for 2 off the main. So as it stands now, we will just barely hold on to it. Takes the damage for that. We've got lots and lots of ways to deal with minions if any of them show up. But as it stands now, I think we're really just hanging on by a thread, because she is about to make this card random. She's going to get tough. One of these will come off, but the other one won't. because an expert only one comes off each time she activates. So yeah, just gonna draw our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Getting Genius, chasing down Throg, target acquired, and energy. Well, here we go. This goes up to 3. She is attacking. Oh, I didn't even think about this. I'm at 5. Getting ready my stuff. Yeah. I don't really want to block with Bucky. Oh, she's attacking for 4. Oh, I have to do something here. And actually, before she attacks, these trigger. So first, we have to discard a card at random. There's going to be Throg. And then she gets a tough status. And then now we can choose to remove one of these. Well, they're both terrible, but I guess we'll get rid of the random discard one. And now she's attacking for 4. If I defend, she could still technically kill me if she gets a 3 boost. I don't want to give up Bucky just yet, so I guess I'm going to risk it. I'm going to defend with Black Widow. I don't really want to lose the game here, but if she doesn't kill us, we're going to want Bucky's activation to help dig us out of this hole. It won't be a 3 boost, right? Oh, well, it is a boost effect. She's getting another evasion counter on Nebula ship, and it was 1 boost, so she's attacking for 5 or 3 damage, and this goes even faster. And we are down to 2. This is a brutal beatdown. This is exactly what it feels like to fight Nebula. And we still have our encounter card, which is going to be a Pirate Lackey. Now, this one's coming in quick strike, but the good news is we have line weight. After minion engages you, discard line weight, deal 3 damage to that minion. It only has 3 health. So as far as I can tell, I looked into this before the video to make sure. This says after minion engages you, and quick strike says after minion engages you. So I think I can use this to kill it before it does quick strike, but even if it doesn't, I could use both my Widow fights. So if I am wrong, please let me know in the comments. If that doesn't stop quick strike from happening, either way, I could prevent it, so it won't affect this video too much. So we're going to take that out. Now we get to deal 1 damage to Nebula because we did the Widowmaker, open your tough. So that wasn't too bad. And we're still alive, so that is good news as well. As far as my turn, my hand is absolutely awful. I can't just chase it down because we defeated that Pirate Lackey, actually. So we'll use that to take 2 threat off of, I guess we'll sound the alarm. So we're just going to use Winter Soldier for the main, probably. We're going to use Milano and 2 resources to bring the ship down by 2. We use a gauntlet to bring in target acquired. We'll cancel the next boost effect, hopefully. And then we'll want his Genius for next turn. And yeah, we'll have Bucky for 2. I think we're probably using block now. It's either that or, well, we can't really all 3 go because it's going to go 3. That's 3, and she's already seen for 3, so we'll definitely for sure lose the main, which, I mean, I guess that losing the game, we're at 2. Now we use Bucky block and then see about next turn. So that is going to be everything we can do. Ready everything up. So we're holding on to Genius, getting target acquired, and chasing down. We're having an extra counter card. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we survive this. No face. Shuffle up and draw a couple more cards yet. So we got these 3 plus a clobber, and 1 by 1. Okay, okay. Nebula ship is going to 3, so this is getting 3. She is attacking. We're half block on her shoulder. She's going to get tough. 3. She is attacking. We're half block on her shoulder. She's going to get tough from that, and then this falls off. So Winter Soldier's blocking 3, 4. Now give them a boost card, but we're going to target acquired that. So that one won't count, and that will deal damage back. It's probably not worth it to cancel that, but I just don't think something worse happen. So but that will be enough to take Bucky out of the way. And Widowmaker will ping the tough. And we have 2 encounter cards. First one is Blindside. Choose one exhaust Milano, spend 2 punch resources or stun us. The 2 punch resources is an option. And we get to spend the 2. Yeah, I think we're spending these because I really want to reduce those counters, so we're just spending 2 punch. Don't exhaust Milano. I don't want to be stunned. Well, being stunned really matter that much. Yeah, it's going to work out. So that is that. And the other one is, oh, she's attacking again. It's going to be the game. There's nothing I can do about that. I've got a grapple hook on the table to cancel treachery. And we will defend. She's attacking for 3. She's attacking for a total of 5. We're defending for 2, so we take 3 damage. And we're dead. Yeah, we need that to be a 0 boost. Well, okay. That was what it feels like to fight against Nebula. Never really felt like we were in the game. Not sure what the speed of the video got up to, but I hope we're cruising at a good clip because I definitely felt like I just got ran over and it wasn't even close. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was fun. I'm not sure it was fun for me, but I like to check in with Nebula every now and then. I actually don't mind her as a villain. She's pretty fun to fight once in a while when she does give you that good game where she doesn't do too much. And I'm not honestly sure if this one was all that bad. She only surged a couple times, but for whatever reason, we were just never able to get a handle on things. I think a lot of it had to do with most of my preparations ended up being damaged and we didn't see as many of the minions. We should have gotten the grappling hooks on the table maybe to cancel some of those treacheries, but you just never know with Nebula. She kind of throws everything at you. We never even got the Power Stone off her once. That's unfortunate, but that's how that went. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much, 1,800 subscribers. I'm so grateful for the continued growth of the channel. I'm really excited to be getting started on the Multiverse Progression Saga. Hopefully I'll have the first one of those out soon, and we will start seeing the game from all the different angles. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put it in the description. I announced a new series recently, so please check that out. And I look forward to seeing you next time we get up in game. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.